The May 28th, 2020 combined work session and board meeting. Before we do roll call and pledge of allegiance, I just want to remind everyone that we're being recorded live, so we don't have a delay. Not that we ever say anything we're not supposed to, but just to remind us, Corey, to not say things that can't be recorded. All right. Madam Secretary, if you call the roll, please.
Regina English.
Here.
Jeannie Orozco.
Here.
Linda Pugh. Here. Steve Siebert.
Here.
Corey Williams.
Here.
Do you want to mention the public comment?
Yep. And I also wanted to mention, our board reps are not here due to COVID. Obviously not having student presence at any time unnecessarily is a priority. So, where are we? 6 o'clock. Members of the public who desire to address the board on any topic related to board work must sign the roster before 6:30 p.m. I believe it's outside the door at this time just because we're at max limit of people in one room. And we'll be bringing each individual comment in one at a time when that happens. So we're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance and the mission statement without any kids. That's so sad. Not the same. Who's reading the mission statement? Okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Have a good day. That's what they all said.
Yeah.
Ms. Pugh?
Mission statement: graduate college and career-ready students with the knowledge, skills, attitudes, and behaviors to personally succeed and contribute to the common good.
Thank you. You did amazing. I haven't got to clap for anyone in a while, just saying. All right, has everyone had a chance to review the agenda?
Yes.
All right, I would ask for a motion. I motion to adopt the agenda.
Second.
All right. Moved by Mrs. English, seconded by Mr. Siebert. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, we have a meeting. And first on the agenda is going to be our bond update from Limber Group. We have a lot going on, so we're excited to hear. I drove by Carmel today. I want to know when they're going to tear down so that way we can go and steal bricks and run around.
We have bricks available for the public now.
Okay. Are we filling those at cost? Is that
We are not filling those.
oh.
What's available?
Bricks.
Bricks from Carmel.
A lot of people were very interested in the tear down of Carmel and whether they would get to keep a piece of it.
It's not quite the Berlin Wall.
It is to them. Your mic is on.
All right, everyone hear me all right? Gonna talk loud.
Talk loud.
So the bond update for this month. So we're focusing on the 4 major projects to start with. So at Harrison High School, the pool scaffolding has gone up, and that's basically scaffolding that goes over the entire pool, the deck and everything. Allows them to work on the ceiling without individual lifts, which is difficult with a pool under them. So they build an entire scaffolding throughout that. That's all in place. Demolition, we had to get this out in a hurry, so I didn't get to field check it. But demolition of the 100, 200, 300 wings is in progress, as well as the learning commons. Mechanical demo is in progress throughout the building. And the 500, 600, and 400 wings, we are working on painting, floor demo. It's a lot lighter, heavy construction in those areas, but that's all in progress. The auxiliary gym, which is actually the weight room. The abatement demo of the floor is actually, it's now complete. So we passed the test. It's ready basically to have floor installed. They still have to kind of tear down their containment and do a little bit of cleanup, but we that was the first one to finally kind of go through the full process, and it's passed.
And that was for our removal of mercury, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That was mercury. The new water lines, we did get full approval on this since we put this together, and the water line work will start tomorrow, and it should be complete by, not begin, July 25th. That would be bad if we started. So the picture on the left is the gym, so I'm standing under the scaffolding. You can kind of see the pool down there, but basically there's a full level above. A couple pictures from the 400 and I believe that's 600 wing. Some classrooms of some of the mechanical and work being done in there. And then this is the library. So it's been pretty much gutted. So you can see the structure and a lot of the walls that used to connect classrooms have also been removed.
I know you're the expert, but I just have a question real quick, Matt. Do you guys drain the pool before you put that scaffolding over it?
Yeah, well, there was no water in it.
Just want to make sure, like, we don't
Yeah,
have
there's no
reports
water.
of people falling in the pool on the scaffolding. Okay.
No.
It's been drained for a long time.
Yours has water all the time. I just didn't know.
Yeah, so it's a pretty robust scaffolding system. It's not like what you see typically, like when they do
On the
some
side of the
light work.
house.
It's pretty impressive. So Carmel, so it's been turned over to Bryant Construction, and what I mean by that is it's now their site, their fence, their security. The demo right now is mostly abatement, but heavy demo will be starting in the next few weeks. There'll be no big explosion, unfortunately, for most people's desires, but it will start. I think we will start seeing more major visual demolition over the next few weeks. We're doing weekly visits out there to check on things. Like I said, with the abatement, it's pretty slow right now. They're doing what they can, but once that gets wrapped up, which it's just about, they'll start moving a lot quicker on that. So some pictures. Like I said, it doesn't look that different yet, but soon it will. So Stratton Meadows, this one has been moving very quickly. So they have done a big chunk of the demolition on all the mechanical systems. Most of the new mechanical system, a lot of the new mechanical system is actually already in place. They're running ductwork and new piping down the hallways, connecting up some of the units. They started sort of on the far end of like the long hallway, and they're working their way back towards the admin area, and there's some rooms at the end already that are painted with ceiling back in place. So I have to say this one's moving along very quickly. Exterior playground's been demoed, so that they're ready to install the new playground there. And because of where the bids came in on this one, we were able to do a few things. We didn't know if we'd get into the GMP or into the project scope. With the extra 2 weeks or a few weeks of work we got with the COVID situation, maybe the few pluses of it is we were able to do them also over the summer and not try to have to come back in over a break to do them. So we are doing a full fire alarm upgrade. 14 of the classrooms that had the really old casework are now getting new casework, which includes the countertops and sinks. All the VCT pretty much throughout the building, which is the hard flooring, will be replaced.
So VCT is hard flooring?
Yeah, so
Okay.
vinyl
I just wanna
cement
make sure.
tile, what VCT stands for, but just about any school you walk in and when you see the hallway, that's what it is, the little squares. So here's some pictures of that with the new piping. So that's one of the classrooms, the bottom right, where the paint, first coat of paint's already been put up. Hills, working through, the construction submittals, the painting is ongoing. Learning Commons has been demoed. The sewer work is about 90% complete, probably a little farther. Last I was out there, all they really had left to do was backfill and put everything back together. So that one has some pictures of that, but it's obviously a less extensive construction process than Meadows, at least from the ceiling's not completely ripped out. So there's some pictures of the sewer line work.
Okay, I was just gonna ask, what's the sewer line?
Yep. And so mercury abatement, they're moving quickly, so don't read any of that. It's all pretty much out of date. So 3 schools we passed the levels we need to reach at Harrison High School, Sand Creek, and Soaring Eagles. We walked those floors today. They're in really good shape, so they're able now to tear down their containment, touch up paint, do their final clean, and then the flooring company took measurements today to order their materials and start the reinstall. Wildflower demo's complete and grinding is complete, so now we're just kind of waiting for that time to clear out and get our air test to pass. Giberson's demo is complete. Grinding will be complete by the end of this week. Terman demo is, I believe, should be complete by the end of this week, and they plan to start grinding Terman next week. Otero, their current schedule says they'll start demoing the floor next week, probably grinding the week after. And Bricker, which we were holding on for the food service, they're going to finish installing their containment this week, and they will start on that one next. So some pictures of that. Obviously, we can only go in before they start. After that, no one's allowed in. But this is what their kind of containment looks like. If you look at the one on the right, they actually kind of build a plastic ceiling over the whole gym and create these sort of plastic hallways for any access in and out from their containment area. So that helps, make sure everything stays where it's supposed to be. Just a few other projects that a lot of these weren't, we call them summer projects, but we took on a lot of these in the spring. The Fox Meadow parking lot's complete. Harrison High School's added ADA parking is complete. The Sand Creek parking lot modifications right now, we're just working on finalizing the design. Then we are going to hold on that project at least for this summer. So that'll be a 2021 summer install. At the earliest, the safe entries are just about complete. I believe there might be some final touch-up things on that. The Sierra boiler is complete. We did get our final permit sign off. And the Otero floor, we walked last week. It's 85% complete. They should be able to finish that pretty easily in the next 2 weeks. So, got some pictures of the parking lots.
Which one is that?
That's Fox Meadow on the big one, and that's the drainage channel on the top right for Fox Meadow. That helps because that parking lot kind of sits high, and it used to have a lot of drainage go across it when it was just a field. So now it kind of gets collected into that culvert sidewalk looking piece, taken down to the drain. And then those are just the 3 ADA spots at Harrison High School in the bottom right. So we're putting out, one of the things, we're putting out weekly field reports from our walks that I think some people are copied on. We're also been using this band app to help keep some of the principals and other staff up to date on what's going. So each week when we do a walk, we put a few of the pictures on there with just some information about how things are going. Nothing, we're not putting out like, hey, we have an issue this week or anything we'd want to come from the district. It's more just photos of the construction process to try to help principals that maybe can't go to the site like they once would have, be able to see what's happening and be able to share with their
Matt,
staff.
did we originally have links to that for all the board members?
I believe so, and that's, we kind of put this on here. If anybody wants to be added through Norma or direct, you can email Ashley direct, which
I'm
we have
not
on here.
sure
I think we have all your emails.
English was added to that yet. So.
Okay. Yeah, that's not true. So we can send, I believe we have everyone's email, so I can send an email or have Ashley do it tomorrow. And if you just respond, then she'll add you to it. Something you download it looks a lot like Facebook, except it's focused. It's a one-way communication. We can only post, or we can allow other people to post, but that helps so there's no one has to monitor it, I guess is the best way I'll describe that. And then we just post things, so the feed is just only full of Harrison construction info. So that's one of the reasons we're using it over creating a Facebook page or something where it'll get filtered in with everything else that everyone has going on in their life. So we can do that tomorrow or this evening, make sure that gets sent out. And then lastly, before questions, John did want me to touch on where we are kind of looking at our bond projections for what I call the round one of bonds, the first 100 million that was sold. So we have kind of a wish list of projects, like we could do, I'm a big pusher, so we pushed a lot early, a lot going forward, and so right now, if we did everything, and every contingency got hit for every penny, we would actually overspend by 1.7 million, which I think Mark would agree, we're not worried about. There's a lot of, that number constantly is changing, and as sort of some examples, just the projects this summer, we're carrying $1.8 million in district contingency. On top of that, the contractors carrying contingency. Last year, we spent 10% of the district contingency. So we have almost enough just in contingency. In addition, we have about 2.7 million in projects that we may target next summer. We don't have to. So there's plenty of ways to make sure we stay under that number. But we're kind of constantly monitoring it. We do a quarterly report to finance on where we think the projections are, and they change each time. And we're conservative. So for instance, like the Harrison football field, we had an extra 125,000. We were carrying in our projections. And when we update the next quarter, that number's going to already come down $125,000. So,
And Matt and his team have already identified just a couple small projects that we even get close to going over, and we can delay to the next round of bonds are sold.
yeah, and some of the reasons that we're spending, it's not that we're running out of money. We've done a lot of projects, and what I consider like Sierra High School, all the things we've done there, that's a year 4 project. So really all of those projects were paid out of contingency, because technically that project hasn't been funded yet. And so the same projections for years 4 through 6 show us with $10 million of excess money. So over the balance, we still have a big portion of our contingency. It's just Sierra, all the design for the 4th year, we have to start them in the fall to be able to start in the summer, but we're not going to get that money until February of 2021. So we also have to carry all the 4th year design costs out of the year 1 bond, or the round 1 bond sales. So it's really just a matter of balancing when we decided to sell the bonds and how the money's going to need to be put out.
And just to give an update on the BEST grant, far less was allotted for it by the state. Am I correct, Shelley? It's much less money than was anticipated, so that's looking like a little less likely for us to get a BEST grant. We're still okay, all these projections are without a BEST grant.
Correct.
Thanks, Matt. I appreciate it. I walk by Terman every day, and I was trying to figure out what the heck the little bubble outside the gym was. And yesterday I was like, oh, it's the mercury thing. And my daughter was like, what are you talking about? I was trying to figure out what the little box was. You know, there's just a little wood box in the cave, and little bubbles all over. And it took me forever though. Walk by it every day. It took me like 4 days to figure out what the heck it was.
That's what it is.
I know. It was just so funny. I was like, yay, all excited. No one cared but me that I was excited. Any questions?
I actually was trying to remember, Carmel's projected to be done in October, so kids won't be moved back in until October 21.
I think the plan will be, so the contractor's done in October, and so in October, we'll start moving the furniture, all the other things I guess we have to do to like backfill the school as far as We haven't looked at, I guess, unless you guys have decided the exact date, but it's probably sometime between Thanksgiving break.
We're looking January 2022. Then we will have everything set up, identified anything that has to go back and get fixed. So January 2022, we're hoping to have students back in.
So we're allowing 3 months after completion of construction to just move everything back in and make sure that nothing was missed.
Yeah, I don't think we'll need the full 3 months. I mean, typically we'll use about a month to get furniture and everything in. That does give 2 months, I guess, for the school, the principal, and everyone to get their classrooms set up, you know.
That's better than 2 weeks.
Right.
Or 48 hours.
Yeah, it's happened before.
Yeah.
There was one thing, prior to the quarantine, coming out of the bond oversight, I know that one or a couple of the members had a question about the possibility, or it was going to be investigated about the driveway entrance to Harrison High School, if there was any plan change or one way in, one way out, or something that was going to be able to be done. And I think it kind of just got maybe lost in the dust of the lockdown. Has there been, or did that just sort of die out of the?
We did talk to the design team about it to look into it, but you're right, kind of lost paying attention, so I need to follow up on that. I do not know where they are. But we did,
I was just
we did
curious,
reach out.
Yeah, that was all I had.
And I think some of it is they were waiting to talk to Peter a little bit about when he, like, get his sense, because we weren't able to really go there and see it, unfortunately, because of all the shutdown. So to talk to him about, like, where the pinch points really are. But yeah, I'll let my pen back and go right now.
Thank you.
Linda? No, you're good. Corey? Regina, we're good. That's it?
That's all I have.
There's so much. We
All right.
appreciate it. You've done such an amazing job. It's so exciting, despite COVID, to see everything move along and just come to fruition. So we appreciate all your hard work.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Be safe. We are at public comment, but we're about 7 minutes early. I think we can do the one that was online whenever Norma's ready before we take anyone in person. So I'm going to read it twice, only because I know we have someone else coming in from outside, but members of the public who desire to address the board on any topic related to board work are welcome to do so. A speaker is requested to limit their remarks to not more than 3 minutes, to appoint a spokesperson if the concern is a group concern, and to supplement verbal presentations with written reports if necessary or desired. Personal attacks will not be allowed. Although the board does not respond to any public comment, we will review the information presented and provide response as needed. We have two. We have one in person and one online. So if we can start with online, and then we'll grab the clipboard.
Okay. The one that I received was from Monica Hollick. She's a teacher at Fox Meadow Middle School. Let's see, it started, to whom it may concern, this is Monica Hollick. It is my understanding that I have 3 minutes of the time to speak for myself during the administration meeting to discuss which employees' contracts will not be renewed for the upcoming year. It is not my intention to ask District 2 to renew my contract for the 2021 school year. I believe that is a mutual decision that my job position at Fox Meadow Middle School as a CSD special ed teacher was not a good fit for me this year. My disagreement resides with Fox Meadow Middle School administration and why the decision was made to place me on administrative leave. If you read the reprimand document placed in my personnel file, there are statements made that are misleading and written intentionally to damage my reputation. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble reading. Damage my reputation as an educator. The safety incident referred to in the reprimand document occurred because the classroom was short-staffed at the time of the incident, and there were long-standing discipline problems with certain students who did not want to be in the life skills class. The Fox Meadow administration was well aware of the combination of being short-staffed and the continual misbehavior problems of a couple of the CSD students, yet they did nothing to correct or help concerning this matter. The safety of the students was not a concern to administration until the perfect storm, in quotes, appeared. All it took was a student who decided to not comply with the teacher directions and enter the classroom, and a missing staff member to help with the classroom to create the student safety concern mentioned in the reprimand document. With all that being stated, all I ask is that District 2 accept responsibility for creating the safety concern mentioned in the reprimand document, which led to my administrative leave status. My personnel file needs to be restored back to its previous condition, which would be spotless when it comes to safety and integrity issues. All I want to do is move on with my career as a special education generalist. I have no interest in joining your district as a long-term employee. I am willing to legally let the situation go if District 2 can clean up its mess. Respectfully, Mrs. Monica Hollick.
Thank you, Norma. Sorry you had to breathe through the mask and read at the same time. We appreciate it. We still have about 4 minutes before we can pull our written one, so.
We just have to stare at each other and look pretty in mask. I would stick my tongue out actually, but you can't see it. Thanks, Matt. Anyone have anything on the way? You guys are so serious.
Madam President, we could always jump to item 7 or something if you wanted to dispose of another item out of order if you were to choose to do so.
7?
Or whatever you, I just thought that would be a quick one if you would like to dispose of.
Well, we have 7.1 and 7.2. So personnel report, I think that's Dr. Claudio if he's ready. Are you ready if we jump ahead or?
I'm absolutely okay. Again, ma'am, I apologize. It's a consent agenda item, so I'll be more than
You're
happy
fine.
to answer any questions because it is a consent agenda item. I don't do a presentation for consent.
You don't want to
agenda
tell me
items.
anything?
Well, what we saw is a decrease in the number of resignations because I think April was our apex for our resignations, and so I'll be more than happy to talk more about the May personnel report when we go into executive session.
Perfect. See, I knew you had something to say.
Yes, ma'am.
And then financial statement. Has everyone reviewed that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I need a head nod over there, Regina.
I said yes.
I know, but like I'm not
You
sure.
did not? Why did you not?
Everyone has a mask on and muffled. I need like action things and I need a whole bunch going on. So I think that's it. If everyone's in agreement with the personnel report and the financial statement for the superintendent consent agenda, I would recommend or ask for a motion.
I move to approve the superintendent consent agenda items as stated.
I'll second.
Moved by Mrs. Pugh, seconded by Mr. Williams. All those in favor?
Aye.
Carries. And then we're gonna move back, to our 4.1 public comment second half. We do have one person for public comment.
I'm sorry, Norma, I've got to clean that up.
That's okay.
You're supposed to carry wipes and sanitizer and Lysol and,
Right.
all right. How about Santiago? Sorry, I can't read the first name there. It's ITC. Okay, thank you. Appreciate that help. Thank you, Linda. Good evening, Ms. Santiago. I just have a quick blurb to read before you have your 3 minutes, okay?
Okay, just because you didn't hear us the first round, I want to make sure you have all the information.
Okay.
Okay, so members of the public who desire to address the board on any topic related to board work are welcome to do so. We request that you limit your remarks to not more than 3 minutes. And if you have a group or that a spokesperson be designated. And we ask that anything supplemental verbal presentations be given to us with written reports, if necessary or desired. Personal attacks will not be allowed at this time. The board does not respond to any public comment. We will review the information presented and provide response as needed. Any questions in regards to that?
No.
Thank you, ma'am. You have 3 minutes.
We're all here to hear you out. Thanks for coming.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me today. I am here regarding my recommendation for non-renewal. I really want to stay at Harrison. I like working here. I like working with the students. I like my position as Spanish teacher. There were a lot of situations that happened last year. I do not want to attack nobody. That's not my intention. There was a situation in October, which is talked with Mr. Vargas. I had a meeting with him and 2 other teachers about that situation, about rumors that was going around that I was not going to be there the next school year, and that was in October, starting the school year. Also, I had a lot of mentor issues, so they changed my mentors constantly during the school year, and that affected my ability to learn and grow as a teacher. I felt I did not get the support I needed as a teacher in the school, and I felt if I did get the support I needed, I would have grown as a teacher. I would have gone past my barriers in the behavior management point. That was the hardest struggle for me. I asked multiple people to help me with this. I have written emails to my supervisor. I have my emails when I contact Mr. Vargas about the whole situation, about rumors going around me not being there the next school year. I also have emails directed when I started my induction about the whole situation, about my mentor change constantly. I printed out everything. I have a letter from my doctor explaining that I have severe anxiety since I always have been anxious, but never constantly medicated. I started medication on March 11, and then on March 13, I found out that I was going to be recommended for non-renewal. So this whole quarantine, the whole not knowing if I'm going to be back at work, has my anxiety levels higher up. Right now, I'm really anxious. But my point here is that I really want to stay working at Harrison. I really love working with these students. I give my extra time to them. I stay after school when they ask me to. I have to close with my students. I just like to be there for them. I try to create activities for them to be able to learn the language differently and not just what I have to teach them all the time. I really like working here. I feel like I have grown a lot working here, and I know I can grow more as a teacher by working at Harrison.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate you coming in and voicing your opinion. If you want to
Leave that with Norma. It'll be fine. Norma will take it. She has gloves on. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I hope your anxiety goes down. You feel better. We love your mask, and we really appreciate you giving us just some words and taking the time this evening.
Thank you.
And we'll get back to you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Have a great.
You have a good evening.
And we're on to 5. Superintendent's report. 5.1. Ms. Becker. I love your mask.
Go Rams. I would like to say I really appreciate Corey as I sat down and looked to my right. Whoa! Thanks for adding some humor.
I know, I said it's like everyone gets to be a robber nowadays. Before it says no
No masks anywhere. Now everywhere it says you must wear masks. So.
I appreciate creativity. So please let me know during this time if you cannot hear me, not only just between the
masks and a microphone, please just holler. So good evening, Board of Education. Excited, I am excited to be here to present the proposed budget to you for fiscal year 2020, 2021. Definitely has been over the past 3 to 4 months thinking about where we are as a district, where our state is at, the country. This has just been a phenomenal process. So please, as we go through the budget, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to shout out, wave your hand along the way. The information we're presenting tonight is as what we, the best of our ability, what we knew by about May 19th. That does matter because the information has drastically changed since then, and will continue to, and we will talk to that. But we will go ahead and get started. So just a reminder for all of us that our compliance, our budgetary actions by Colorado and federal law. The first one is that all school districts in the state of Colorado, the local Board of Education will have received a proposed budget. I will say that during this time of changing economic situation, there definitely has been a plea to the legislature for any change in that. We're here tonight, that was not granted. So again, appreciate the board in changing the date from earlier in the month to tonight, May 28th, so that we are in compliance with that. The second piece is that an adopted budget action is taken on June 30th. So again, those are in network compliance with Colorado and federal law. And then just as a reminder for all of us that we have our own board policies and operating limitations that talk about notably OE6, our financial planning. Tonight, and this is definitely our lengthiest budget presentation, we're going to talk, spend quite a bit of time on the general fund, and then our 9 other what we call our other funds budgets. So tonight, no action needs to be taken, just information only, and in June is then we will conduct all the appropriate action for the appropriation of our budget for fiscal year 2020, 2021. I think it's always good to revisit and look at the stewardship of our fiscal responsibilities. So we know as a governmental entity, we are stewards of public dollars, and we know that we present to our public a yearly plan of spending those dollars wisely, meeting a plan of spending, not exceeding, report the results of work and programs. And a budget presides, a budget just isn't numbers calculated on a spreadsheet. It tells a story of the strategic goals and direction of the organization. We'll talk about it, talks about our plans for educational values and needs. What do we value? What do we prioritize? We talk to what are the resources needed to meet those multi-year plans? Then how do we communicate our communication of our financial operations? And that is always, we report on our progress. Folks think oftentimes in this moment of a budget, we do a budget once, that's it, shelve it, put it aside. And the budget is meant to be a tool, it's flexible, we're constantly following up, looking at, doing analysis on. So again, our Colorado state law says that the school districts submit a balanced budget and not overspend this budget on an annual basis. And we're familiar with our Board of Education policy that states our district budget, our general fund multi-year plan will include a balanced budget and maintain general fund reserves of 13% of expenditures. Okay. I think there is no introduction needed. National events. We all know and are aware of the impact of COVID-19. At the state level, again, over the past month, multiple discussions, declining state revenues for loss of economic activity, and what has been really and is to come impactful budget reductions at the state And then again, as we last talked on April 30th, here in our local economy, sustainable employment, what does that look like here within Harrison School District, our community, and critical needs, housing and food. So just probably about May 12th, May 14th, decline in the state revenue, knowing that number, 3.3 billion. That number represents equals 12% of the total state budget. So when you think about that, putting it in context, and then within the general fund, it represents 36% of the state's general fund budget. And if you remember that pie chart that I showed last time, that talks about K-12 of the state's general fund budget is a little bit over 36%. So again, just to put it in perspective. With that, we've also known increased expenditures in response to the pandemic and also an increased need for state services. So definitely the state, multiple different things going on simultaneously and unprecedented. The governor issued at the end of April an executive order and talking about knowing the work into restrictions, budgetary reductions. They have amounted to about, at this point in time, $229 million. And it was directed with every department within the state. And it's really tough when you're looking and going through this, because even though we talk about education, you see components of education throughout even those reductions. When you look at the Department of Corrections, you see that they have had to cut some of their programs that help youth in corrections and education. So continuing what the state is going through as well with all of us. The state then has put together 10% and 20% reduction scenarios. Again, as with all of us, looking at how do they utilize the reserves, cash funding, federal stimulus funding, we'll talk about that in a little bit, and the review of their policies generating revenue. So as we know, if people are now purchasing, sales tax has gone down, income tax levels have gone down, definitely a correlating domino effect. I really appreciate, and I know John and Wendy have been a part of conversations as well, whether it's with state superintendents, CFOs. I think it's always good when you hear the voice of the governor. And in a recent meeting, he said schools are the key to economic activity. And I really appreciate that and where he's coming from that. And I just think moving forward is we all know what the school will look like as we open in the fall. So as we talk about right here are within our general fund, what we know now for next year for COVID-19, what is the financial impact and what does that look like? To be determined, and I think this is something we're all going to be moving forward and learning as we go. As of May 21st, I don't have a slide, but we'll definitely talk about it in June. There's been some federal stimulus funding that has been announced, reflected to school districts. So I'll just give a couple of highlights on that. There's 4 different pots of funding that have come forward. The one that literally came to us, I think in the middle of the night, last Monday night or Tuesday night, is the Coronavirus Relief Fund, and that's called CRF. As we know in education, we're going to have a lot of abbreviations and acronyms. This was allocated where the governor had $1.64 billion to allocate at his choosing. Out of that amount, $450 to higher ed, $510 million to school districts. And it literally was something, people waking up the next day going, wow, what just happened? For Harrison School District, that's $8.3 million. 8.3. 8.3. Oh, joke. Yeah. With that, that is just purely allocated across all schools across the state on a per pupil allocation. BOCES each received $25,000 each, and then the charter schools under CSI have also received their per pupil allocation. For Harrison, that's probably roughly about $704 per pupil. This is federal funding. It is one-time funding. It does need to be, we have so far 9 criteria related to COVID type of expenditures. And it does need to be spent by December 31st, or it will need to be sent back to the state. So we've got kind of a 6-month window, and we'll talk about that a little further more. Second pot is what you'll hear at ESSER, and that's Elementary and Secondary School Emergency Relief Fund. That was $121 million. That is included later in our government grant fund, and we'll touch on that. That was allocated based on Title I allocations, and for that we've received about $3.3 million, or we will, but we have 2 years to spend that as well. The other 2 pots of money is called the Governor's Fund Gears, $44 million. That's for K-12 and higher ed. We don't know, that's still to be determined. And then CDE will be receiving $37 million for at-risk funding. Again, that's held at CDE for right now to be determined. So apologize, I see you taking notes, but again, if anybody needs any further information. So that has happened as of the past week. Inflation payment, 1.9%. As we know, the School Finance Act is funded on inflation, so 1.9%. Here at Harrison, as we look at our enrollment, we've had the discussion before talking about as we have in a declining school district. So here we have a breakdown of about 11,712 students projected for this next year. And then a breakdown between our neighborhood schools and our charter schools. Okay, I might have to put on my glasses and hope I don't fall out. So this one starts to get a little the negative factor, also known as the BS factor. There has been so much conversation around this piece over the past 2 months. Statewide, the negative factor currently exists across all school districts, $572 million. Our portion of that right now is $7 million. That means through the School Finance Act, we are receiving $7 million less this year than if it were fully funded under the School Finance Act. Potential increase to be determined statewide. It's potential that number will grow to $1.2 billion. And just to preview upcoming events that has happened. So right now, the negative factor, the School Finance Act has been introduced as of May 24th. It's going through all the legislature, the JBC, and the recommendation is to increase it. It's about 1.17%. That is adding an additional $577 million to the negative factor.
Shelley?
Yeah.
So where it says the current HSD2 7.8 million, did you say that was like literally cut in half?
Or it's going to double.
Or it's gonna double?
It's gonna double.
Oh, okay, okay. Thank you.
That's double the amount taken away from us.
Correct.
Yeah.
In fact, preliminary is showing that number will be 18.78 million. So that's really, I think, tough as we think about it in here. So on the one hand, great, we have this federal stimulus funding. We know that's coming. It's one-time money related to COVID. There's a lot of interpretation still to be done. But we know that moving forward, the negative factor, very much to say the money that will be not given to us is going to double. And it's a really hard pill to swallow because as we only look at multi-year plans. So how does that relate to our per pupil revenue? So at the time, about a week and a half ago, we used presentation once again, we know so much more later, looking at 7,532. So on May 5th, we were given guidance from CDEs and others. And April 30th, in our budget update, we had talked about different scenarios. A flat funding, a 5%, 15%, well, 5, 10, and 15, sorry, there's just been a variety. Here at Harrison, from guidance, our own district leadership conversations, 13% is what our proposed general fund budget is built on. That's a 13% reduction in state funding. As of May 5th, school districts were given guidance to prepare for a 14% reduction. May 20th, that number was even 13.4%. So again, this per pupil number of 7,532 represents a 13% reduction to state funding. I put up there the other years because I think it's always good just to look in comparison. Within the School Finance Act, there's what's called a base funding. And you're going to start hearing school districts say, we're at the base, we're at the base. That base funding number is $6,951. And that means constitutionally, a school district, if these cuts continue, could never go below $6,951 without challenging that legally, constitutionally. We have, I think, a couple of school districts, County 20 for sure, that's pretty close to the base. So as you can see over prior years, just really looking at where our per pupil revenue has been. Okay, so we're going to talk about some of the assumptions, the variables that are in our general fund. Unless anybody has any questions, and when we get to medical, as we've had presentations on that, the district, the employer piece, medical insurance, increase of 15%. Para increase on behalf of employers up 0.5% from 20.4 to 20.9. I was hopeful that maybe there wouldn't be any or the minimal para conversations at the legislature, but I think a bill was just introduced today to take additional measures, so more to come on that as well. Just recognize that para is an important benefit to all employees in the public sector. Okay, so with that, as we know, as we hear about loss of revenue, we know some form of budgetary reduction is coming. So with that, our general fund budget is comprised of $4.85 million in our general fund of budgetary reductions that we have been collaboratively and collectively working on probably for the past 6 weeks-ish, maybe. It's been quite a process. So here are what some of those reductions are. Transfer to the Capital Reserve Fund. As we know, the Capital Reserve Fund, which is for building maintenance projects, is funded by a transfer annually from the general fund. So the decision has been made, a little over $1 million, by not transferring that funding. That will not occur for 1 year. And as we get to the Capital Reserve Fund, we'll talk about that more in detail. District-wide, we're looking at a variety of things, around $700,000. Currently, the district has in the past, and has this year, a general fund contingency of $500,000. Decision has been made to reduce that to $200,000. And then looking at a potential furlough day for all staff. We have spent a lot of time looking at various departments and have kind of collaborated and gathered everything together at a high level. So between that, our instructional departments looking at CIA, RDA, CLDE, everything from whether it's travel registration, purchase services, really focusing on when staff are leaving. Is there some attrition that can be captured? Centralized services, professional development, halting of maybe some technology projects. And really appreciate John and me doing that back. We did a second round with our school budgets about 2 to 3 weeks ago. Again, just to identify any potential areas for budget reductions. And with that, identifying we say adult school attire, elimination of the 1% school contingency set aside, looking at staff food and catering needs, staff PD. So definitely this has been quite a process. And John, Wendy, anything to add to?
Just the hard work done by our schools and departments to take a look at this, and the fine work by Shelley's department to get this put together. There was a hard look at everything, and people made the adjustments, understanding the situation. Wendy?
I would just add that every cut we made was strategically as far away from the classroom as we could make it. So we were trying to get away from students feeling the cuts. And I think we did a really good job of, students will not feel these cuts next year when they join us in August.
And this has been, I think I was telling you when we were doing that update, and it's really hard as a human being, even though I'm just the number cruncher. This has been really tough, not to get emotional about it or to feel disheartened, but I think that just gets us going even more to continue with the advocacy for Harrison School District. Maybe it's a plus or a minus, but we can see what's coming and knowing it's just going to be very tough for our community, for our schools, for our staff. I've just really heartfelt appreciation to my colleagues behind me, Board of Education, especially John and Wendy. This has just been, as we've gotten to identifying what are reasonable, we felt it was really combing through. We are definitely guidance, and as we know, the economic activity. There's a lot of talk, conversation, guidance. It's really fiscal year 2021-22. That's going to be that much more grave. And I think, as we all know, thinking about, it's great to have this one-time stimulus funding. There's also that reality of the larger challenges within the state of Colorado and funding school districts. So again, thank you to everybody in the room that's been a part
Shelley,
of that.
really quick, I think, sorry to interrupt, Linda had brought up something around the Board of Education, which is on there as far as our spending, but I think, we definitely need some directive. We don't spend a lot of money anyway, but we need someone to sit down with us and just go over that with us. I think Linda had asked that previously, and we would just ask that again, so we can make sure that we have the conversation around what would expenditures look like for us.
Oh, I'd be happy to anytime. Yeah, feel free to contact me or Corey and I want to get back together. Yeah, I'm happy to do that.
I just remember Linda had brought it up, but we didn't have like some follow through on that end. Looks like I did. You did.
And I think part of it is that we're not doing traveling already, that's a cut. I don't know what else we could potentially cut.
So yeah, happy to set up a virtual Teams meeting so we can walk through line by line the Board of Education budget.
Thank you.
Okay, as we look to, you know how much I like the visuals and the pie charts, trying to divvy this one up a little bit. I think it's not the most visually appealing, but really to look at it makes the point of our state revenue compared to our local revenue and our federal revenue. Again, with our state revenue comprising close to 80% of our funding here at Harrison, our local revenue comprised mainly of our property tax and our federal revenue. I would be remiss if I just didn't touch on property tax again. Again, that's going to be another component we will be paying close attention to. There is a little bit of early discussion thoughts that the residential assessment rate, RAR, may drop to about 5.6%. So again, more to come later on that. Okay, so here our total salary and benefits in the proposed budget will next year comprise 84% of our general fund. So again, that's not a surprise. I think last year we were about 81, 82%. Okay, so here we are looking at the general fund at a high level. I apologize, didn't put a percent, we see it on the next slide. But our total ending fund balance, if we go all the way to that $14 million at the very bottom, that represents about 14.42%. So again, we are in compliance with our budget and moving over at 13% fund balance. If you were to follow some of the revenue lines straight across, I mean, you really see that impactful piece of less revenue. And then, of course, as we look into our multi-years or next years, right now, inflationary growth, 1%. Again, it'd be great if it would be more. Can't even have an estimate that the state does not at all. Negative factor, will it be held constant to the current state? We'll know more. The School Finance Act has just been introduced, and I've been told it will be in a little week or so. Until we know what it's been recommended, it still has to go through the legislative process. And there's always the chance that amendments and changes could be made. For the moment, really looking at are we still projected to have a declining enrollment in future years, and what may that look like? And then again, necessary budgetary reductions. So as we look to our future years, at this point in time, the only increasing costs we have are the mandatory increases to para. So this compares to, like April 30th, we looked at our flat funding, 5%, 10%, 15%. So this one right now, as we look at, it's ready for the future, but if you follow under the green section, ending fund balance, and go across to under 2021 projected budget, and you see for next year, we have a fund balance of 14.42%. That's our reserves. That's greater than our 13% required. We're in good shape, and this does include the $4.85 million of cuts we have made. So as we move forward to the next years, yeah, not so good what that looks like and how this would read in fiscal year with all of the assumptions at the time this was put together. That would show a reduction if we were to have a 13% less in total state revenue funding. That next year, I'm looking at reductions of potentially over $9 million. And then again, another $20 million that next year. No different than any other school district is looking at. It is our reality. We've had a lot of conversations. I do expect that $9 million will decrease just from some of the current activity of the state and the legislature, and potentially maybe for us that number that we have to reduce may be around $2 million. So whether to say that's good news or not, we've been looking at these numbers as long as we've been hard as we have. The fact that we might only have to cut $1 to $2 million in 21-22, again, that's on an upward positive side. Definitely with all the meetings, Governor Holst is really sticking to his guns when it comes to education. And again, I heard it again yesterday, and we're seeing it again through the School Finance Act. He is very, there were conversations about repealing the full-day candy funding. That caused a bit of anxiety and nervousness for about several weeks. That was quickly dissipated. I think we had a lobbyist say, Governor Polis would more rather jump off a bridge than have that reduction to full-day candy funding happen. That's how passionate and integral he feels to it. Another piece we have is the LEAD Act funding, and that's important to us here to help our students with significant reading deficiencies. That was on the table for quite a bit as a reduction. That was pulled off as well. So I'm just going to take a pause there. Does anybody have any questions on general fund, thoughts, comments, mythbusters? Okay. And please again ask questions as we go through the next one.
Shelley, I just wanted to kind of share with everyone, I wasn't a part of the process, which everyone should work with the board. So we looked at the budget and we cut to where we needed to cut, that we could cut in a short amount of time. We know going forward we're going to have to make more cuts, but we need to systemically and systematically figure out what those cuts are. And so this gives us, we're at a place where we're presenting a balanced budget, but we know already starting in July, we're looking at how do we cut for the next round. But we need time to build in something that makes sense and not just a reactionary cut because we need to get to a number. So in terms of when we look at this budget, we look good for next year, but we know we have to do changes to look good going forward, and we're well aware of that, and we're starting to already look at that again in July.
And that's a really great thing, just as the state literally had started like 2 to 3 weeks to be reactive, get a plan in place. The same has been for school districts, and the state and governor, knowing that school districts have this May 30th deadline for proposed budgets, and then June 30th. I mean, really have to give, they have really tried in timeliness, but again, there has been the recognition that as school districts, we have all had to make reductions very quickly, very timely, and I know we have all worked really hard to be thoughtful and intentional and strategic about what those in play. So, start of our other funds, and this will go by pretty quickly. Our first one is our insurance reserve fund. And 2 things in the expenditures for next year. First one is, we have a 6-year implementation plan, because as we have new construction and building values, the cost of the insurance needs to be escalated and revisited as well. So we have a 6-year phasing plan of the buildings being assessed and the new value that they will be at an increase to our property and liability insurance. And then the second piece is our insurance pool renewal just came in, I think again, just a couple days ago at 12%. 12%? Well, it's still 12%. That's better than last year. I think we're at like 65, 68% increase. And we can see that when you look at the expenditure line item, property and liability, and just follow that across, just from 2017-18 at, yes, it is 331,000. And as you follow that across, just in a couple of years, an increase of $500,000, going up to 830. And we've talked quite a bit about that as Colorado is second in the wind hail in the state. We did go out for quotes and going out to market to 7 different entities, and the only one that replied back is our current provider, Colorado School District Self-Insurance Pool. The other 6 just refused to quote due to Colorado's estate and then our 5-year claims, mainly the wind and hail. Nutrition services. Great. Nutrition services is a self-sustaining fund. Some of the things they have planned for this next year. I think it's an exciting time being nutrition services. And again, really good. Mark and his team have done in looking at the budget for next year, salaries, food items, equipment, and again, maintaining a healthy fund balance. Our designated purpose grant funds. So here we have noticed, here's where our ESSER federal funding that we have received $2.2 million, and again, we have a little over 2 years to spend, and that does have some parameters around Title I and how we can spend that money. But again, I know the district wants to be very intentional and thoughtful, and we're still waiting for guidance and clarification from CDE as to this pot of funding. Our second pot of funding is the Corona Relief Funds, CRF, which for the June adopted budget, our $8.3 million, this budget will be changed and updated to reflect them.
So we have till the end of this year to spend 8.3, but we have 2 years to spend 3.2.
Correct. Yep, correct. Yeah, there's multiple different.
Who's in charge?
Funding. Well, I would talk to our national level. That's where this is coming from. Unfortunately, it's not even the state. This is coming right to the feds, from the feds, with a lot of this federal stimulus funding, with our $8.3 million Corona Relief Fund. That is going to have another layer of compliance here within Colorado, as all states, and the Office of the State Auditors. So again, it's going to be quite documentation, sales receipts, invoices. So we're going to have an additional layer of oversight at the state level, and then again, because of federal funding. Okay, our bond redemption fund. This fund, very straightforward, just our local property taxes coming in with our bond levy, and then just the payment to the retirement of the bonds and the interest on those bonds. Our cap reserve fund, so this fund is used in building improvements, equipment, vehicle purchases, and the decision was made, as you can see, transfer for general fund for a 1-year timeout of allocating an allocation from the general fund to the capital reserve fund. And you can see that reflected within the revenue and total resources available, with expenditures planned for some maintenance, infrastructure, etc. And as if John or Mark, anybody else want to add in, but our building fund, it's great to see here's what the proposed budget includes, and I know we just had number presenting, but just a lot of the work that's upcoming for this next year. It's really great and positive to see all of that work that is going on. We had at the time of our election and the sale of our first 100 million, we knew that we will sell our second round of bonds, the 80 million, in December of 2021 for sale, and then with probably closure in January, February of 2022. We'll definitely, probably over the next couple of months, regurgitate the whole team and coming before you to have additional conversations, just to see, really good to see where's the market at right now. How does, because there's just so much going on, we'll have Mr. Blackwood, our investment advisor, as well, to do some updates with that. And I think it's really good just to keep an eye on the outlook out there and when it comes to selling school district bonds. A land acquisition fund similar to the cap reserve fund, and again, just due to not as much funding in the cap reserve fund, planned expenditures here just for maintenance, infrastructure, and items of a repair priority. Our health insurance fund, and again, pretty excited. I was just asking my team today how many individuals joined Peak Med, just under 100, so about 97 employees signed up. So really appreciate we've been able to offer this year. We had 892 employees enrolled for Choose District Health Insurance. And if you want to see trying to do open enrollment for a month virtually online and on your phone, wow, pretty amazing. That also was a team effort. All my colleagues in the room. We were doing weekly, and then it became daily reminders, all of us out to all employees that have not done their open enrollment yet, but it's just so critical. We really, to the best of our ability, to ensure employees understood this one time to sign up for health insurance. And with that, pretty excited. Linda, Steve, Board of Education, looking at that ending fund balance as we look forward in future years. This fund is one we definitely really had on our radar the past year to 2 years. And when you look at it, it's had a declining fund balance for a number of reasons. We're excited as looking at the proposed budget for next year, having an upturn. A couple of things with that. When you look at the other revenue for 2021, 430,000. 30,000 is in our renewal with Cigna. $30,000 is being given to the district of revenue for staff wellness. So first of all, very excited about that. And the 400,000 is the pharmacy rebate that we were able to negotiate with our contracts. So we're very excited about that. So again, in a positive view moving forward with our health insurance. And our people activity fund, and again, so much remains to be determined what may happen, at our school sites with fundraising, chess clubs, all of these programs. What this allows is the cash fund for the revenue we bring in and fundraise. They are allowed to spend at their local site level. So here's where we're at. Come before the Board of Education on June for adoption of the 2020-2021 financial plan and budget, all funds. We do know, again, just as the legislature is still continuing with the School Finance Act, that will finally settle in, and the federal stimulus funding. Again, as always, even more so, continued review, necessary actions per the changing economic environment. So thank you, Board of Education. We are in Harrison. Appreciate everybody, the budgetary process. It does take all of us. So appreciate. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Shelley. I know it's so hard for us. We get so much momentum moving forward, I think, as a school district, financially in our growth, and to see the setback is really hard, I think, for all of us. When we know how far we've come and how in a few months it seems like it's all turned upside down. So we know that you're working on stopping, your team is working, and everyone is, and we really appreciate it. I don't know if anyone has any questions. Hey. We're sorry. It's so hard. We appreciate all your hard work and your emotions. I know for us it's very emotional too. And I was like, I don't want to be board president now. That's what I said when I saw the first presentation about money. And I was like, I don't want to be the person in charge right now when we go through this, because it's just so heart-wrenching. And I'm an emotional person anyway when I'm up here, so I could see you just like crying about things.
I would definitely add one last comment when it comes to advocacy and work for Harrison. Again, this is really good. We should even more so for us this next year. I think we all remember the Uniform Mill Levy bill. Remember that? That was talked about several months ago. And then when the virus hit, any bill that was introduced up until March 13th that had a fiscal impact was immediately killed at. Well, in a different form, the Uniform Mill Levy has resurfaced in the current School Finance Act. So I had the opportunity in a meeting yesterday with Carrie Kennedy, who is an attorney by trade, but she's doing public policy work for Governor Polis. And the state is now going to take on that charge of the mill levy piece, Uniform Mill Levy, instead of school districts having to go out to their electors. As remember, we had a discussion about us having to go to our voters. The state is going to take that on. So that's a big step, and how it will look, there will be credits. And the first year will be a bit neutral, but as it's a phase-in approach, remember it's that part because the local share and the state share has really become upside down. So expecting more on that. Definitely with our student population at risk, serving students of need, we definitely have a voice there. Continuing, and so expect very much so, even more so, contacting our representatives, working in that young community. Really appreciate the Board of Education or work in that as well.
I would like to, on behalf of John and myself, just thank you, Shelley. When you gave us these numbers, it was shocking for all of us, but you really led cabinet and the schools through a process to really get to a place where we feel good about what we're presenting. And I think your sleepless nights and your frustrations with it and your dealing with all the financial stuff with the state and your colleagues really have helped us develop a budget that we feel proud to present to our district and to our board. And John and I know that we would not be in this place without you. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Shelley. We're moving on. OE monitoring report 6. We're going to start at 6.1, OE2, monitoring emergency superintendent succession.
OE2 is, we're monitoring it, and it only really has 2 indicators to monitor. One is that we have a succession plan in place, check we do. The second one is that we have a district emergency operations command team that we use, and check we do. So it is in compliance. Any questions on OE2?
I think my only question is, and I think you guys have done a great job of informing us, and both of you are out of the district and Dr. Claudio. And I guess the goal is that the 3 of you would never be out of the district at the same time.
Well, we will be adding another name to our succession plan. Mr. Yates has passed his superintendent assessment test and what it's even called. So we will have another
Okay,
helper.
thank you, Mr. Yates. I just was like, one person just seems like, there's a really big page.
Yeah, we do usually try to, you know, if Mike's gonna be here when we're both gonna be out, we talk about our schedules, make sure we're covered.
No, and I know you guys have sent that to the board, but succession plan, and it says number 1, Mike Claudio. All right, I don't have any questions on that. Anyone?
No questions.
Oh gosh, something's wrong with everyone tonight. We must be not feeling well.
Do you have a comment to?
You want to add the comment now?
Doesn't matter now. I mean,
Now's
it's in
good
our
with-
mind.
No, now's good. I think, I would say that my comment myself would be, we need more than one person in succession. And I think the response was more than reasonable. That Mr. Yates is scheduled to be added.
So in compliance and that extra piece of information.
That's all I have. Does anyone have anything else?
Are you notating, Linda, or does Norma need to? We had to ground ourselves in this, we're not adding comments, so. You good? 2 minutes to 6.2. OE 13 facilities, Mr. Wiltie.
Good evening, board. So, some of you are seeing it maybe for the first time. So I will answer any questions on it. All of the individual steps are in compliance. Most of the data is maintained in my office, but it is available to see if you'd like to see it. I don't know how in detail you want me to go through this. So would you like to, other than questions, do you want to go through it step by step, or would you like to?
I don't want to go through it step by step. Does someone else want to?
You sure? It's exciting.
Linda hasn't answered yet.
No, for sure. I don't want to go through it step by step, but I recall a comment from Aspen on the first indicator in 3.1. I don't know that it's changed since that comment was brought. It was referencing the body of evidence for that first indicator of compliance.
The district schools lose no instructional days?
Yeah. Where's the validation for that? I think that was the question.
We lost no instructional days. I don't know how to document another.
There were none, okay.
If we lost an instructional day, it would have been documented. But the absence of documenting a lost instructional day, this is the documentation.
It's like when a question is asked and there's no answer. It's like, oh, I assume it's no.
Other questions?
I have a couple, as usual.
No, we're waiting for Linda.
Yeah. The third bullet in the same area says that the superintendent prioritizes projects and identify unsafe conditions during the process. So is that implying there were some that were identified and dealt with, or what is that?
As far as the safety concerns?
Yeah.
So during the capital reserve process, some of the requests or some of the needs are identified as safety. And then right now it's the superintendents and I go down through the list. All that were identified as safety were approved to be done and were completed.
Okay, so the adjustments were made.
I'm not sure I understand what you're asking.
Well, the third bullet under evidence? Under evidence, yeah. It said that the safety concerns were addressed, which implies there were safety concerns, but something was done before it became a problem.
All the safety concerns that were identified were included in the capital reserve process and completed.
Let's see what Randy's comment was, or whoever it was.
Mark, would you have that if they needed to come to your office, or you present that as an attachment, showing these are the safety concerns and how they were addressed?
Right.
Okay.
We, in the capital reserve budget that you approved, I'm not sure that they're all identified as safety, but there's each individual line item, the ones that were identified as safety were included in that budget.
So I guess the question would be, ask the rest of the board members, does something additionally need to be said around that, or is that sufficient?
I don't see anything. I think we're asking, maybe it's not worded. Say what you're trying to say again, Linda, because I don't see anything wrong with it.
Are you thinking that there was a problem that was fixed? Or are you questioning that maybe they saw that there could have been a problem and they corrected it before it was a problem?
Just he's the expert here.
It may help if we looked at it from the converse. Would this be evidence of compliance if it were, let's say, if it was out of compliance, if there was a safety issue that was not addressed or was not approved through the capital fund budget, and then it would be out of compliance. If the converse is like the litmus test for it being in compliance, which I would assume that it would be. So I guess what I'm saying is I'm okay with it, but just having that other perspective may create the litmus test for it being in compliance. I don't really have any other perspective or any other way to kind of.
And I would say that it's been that comment for like 8 years, and Randy finally made the comment.
That does happen.
I think he's looking for things to come.
He's at home a lot right now. Is that what you're saying? No.
That's fine. We're okay with it. What is CMMS in 13.3?
It's the computerized maintenance management system.
Okay. I don't know what that means.
All of our maintenance is logged and tracked on a computer.
My last question is, the 13.7 talked about where there was damage to the steel supports. I don't even remember that conversation with them.
You said 13.7, Linda?
13.7, yeah.
Thank you.
It indicated that we were informed about damage to the steel supports by the contractor. I just don't recall.
They bumped it. We were informed.
Is that what it was? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then the later.
Like a month and a half.
Yeah.
So it's again.
It was delayed a month.
It delayed it, so it delayed the work because of that. Probably trying to figure it out.
Yeah, we were notified that the contractor bumped it and it had to be redone. Mr. Wilsey, always, thank you so much. You do an amazing job. We don't get to tell you thank you enough because you're always in buildings and being a busy week. But we really appreciate all your work.
Thank you. Anything else?
That's all we got. And I believe our superintendent asked that we vote on our OEs, honoring reports tonight. Do we have any changes, any additions to OE2 or OE13 before we vote?
You want to do the comments before or after the vote?
Let's do it before, Linda. Thank you for reminding us. I didn't have any comment other than, you know, I think Mr. Wilby does an outstanding job in compliance. Corey?
No, I have no comment.
Yeah, I have to agree, everything's in compliance and well reported and well written in there, so. Okay.
I'm good. Did you have anything in addition, Linda? All right.
ask for a motion to approve OE2 and OE13.
I'll make a motion to approve OE2 and OE13.
Second?
Moved by Ms. English, seconded by Mr. Siebert. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Yay, we got someone. And we already did 7 previously. We voted on the superintendent consent agenda. And so we'll move to 8 for consent agenda. 8.1 ATU, 8.2 approval of minutes. And does anyone have any questions about either 8.1 ATU or 8.2 approval? Oh, I thought you had a question.
No question. I was just gonna say that and this is probably more appropriate for Linda to talk about, but the work that went into the ATU and all that encompasses is far, far greater than a quick consent vote. And so just a recognition of all of the things that had to happen for this line to be on here for us tonight.
From that perspective, having been part of CDMT, to emphasize that was work that went on most of the year. It wasn't just done overnight, it was work that continued, from September through March or April, to prepare that each year.
And I think you have got changes that happened over the last couple of months. Changed things as well, so I know you show up for all those, Linda, appreciate you. So if we could get a motion.
I move to approve the board consent agenda as stated.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Williams, seconded by Mrs. Hugh. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. 9, monitoring board performance. 9.1, annual work plan, and I know we had quite a few changes on there last round. I just wanted to make sure that we had our retreat for the 12th and the 13th, team building and Board of Education retreat with Aspen and Cabinet. I know it says Aspen and Cabinet, but the superintendent should be there as well. I don't know that it needs to be written in there unless someone has an objection, but. And then we don't have.
Can you clarify who you want on the 12th and 13th building?
Everyone that works on the OEs that we're going to be taking care of at that time. All the ones from the capital one.
13. She said on the 12th.
Oh, I'm Friday night. I'm sorry. Just the Board of Education. Okay.
I believe we had a retreat on March 7th, but it's not reflected on this annual thing.
Incorrect. It says board retreat.
Oh, it says, yeah.
After, before, after I started
So we're going to be going over monitoring 5A, 12 indicators, 2, 13, and 10, but didn't you just tell us that we need to go over 14? Okay. So Norma, if you can add 14, I'm going to take care of that on the 13th.
And I'm not sure that all, and I don't know how we would schedule this, but all staff probably doesn't need to be present for all of those. If we could kind of, as we set the agenda, like maybe the first half hour, second half hour, third, or 45 minutes, or hour, however we do that. That way we can kind of rotate the appropriate people in and out, so there's not, I don't know, maybe that. Maybe
no, I appreciate any thoughts on that. Me and Norma were trying to have a discussion around that, and we didn't have any bright ideas at the time.
And I don't know that that's a bright idea, but I just imagine that there's, it's a Saturday, and probably a lot of the information isn't pertinent. I don't know how we would schedule that, but just a thought.
Thank you. We need all ideas. I was like, let's just get a bigger room. That was my idea.
We'll need megaphones.
Then we'll be really far apart.
All the gyms have scaffolding in them now, so we can't use a gym.
Oh. And we're not going to be in the pool. No pool party on the 13th. So, any ideas are welcome in that aspect. I don't know what to come up with at this point. So if maybe we can organize the indicators and who needs to be here, so that way those individuals can come as they need to 2 weeks after.
And part of that, maybe to explain to staff, and maybe they already know, is with the stay-at-home order, there's been an awful lot that's been missed. In meetings, we've had meetings at bare bones, and we just want to use this as a time to sort of kind of clean up and catch up with everything that we've missed over the past couple of months.
No, thank you, Steve. I think we, as a board, don't want to leave anything left undone before we start the new school year. I think it's just going to create more turmoil as we move forward. There's going to continue to be things left off the table if we don't get caught up. So that was the intent of the long day and having years of steps for those things. Are we going to get a firm date on this August 6th back to school? How long do we have?
Yes, you will.
Oh.
Be forthcoming.
Oh, okay. It's a secret right now.
I think the closer we get,
Is that something that we're waiting from the state or is it?
We're in the process of putting together the plans for the school year, and we don't know if that'll be impacted slightly or not, and that's the only piece that's hanging out there. We're not necessarily waiting for guidance from the state. We are taking a harder look at what the health department is going to be telling us as we get closer to it.
Is that going to be the El Paso County, our local health department? Is it going to be
Department. I think Wendy and I are both in agreement. Cabinet is that if we wait sometimes for direction from the state, it's usually a week, 2 weeks after what we need to do. So we've got schedule and plan to start this work going.
And I think it's important to know that we want to bring as many kids back safely as we can, as soon as we can, with the keyword on safely. But we also know that we will need a remote system for our students who aren't ready to come back. And so looking at what that looks like from all aspects, and that we would be ready to go remote at any point given another outbreak or another decision made. So we're just working on a few things over the next few weeks.
He's just a very sneaky answer. That's all. I would ask the board that we remove wisdom sharing, looking at the budget and what Shelley just presented. I think that we should talk to ourselves about just taking that off our calendar and knowing that we should be spending that money.
As much as that breaks my heart, I agree with you.
Like it's, I would at least want to have the conversation with you.
Yeah, absolutely. There's nothing sets a precedent more than the CEO or whoever. Everything applies to everybody but them. And as the leaders of the district, I would absolutely agree that we would take the quickest, fastest, deepest cut. And so, like Corey, absolutely agree.
I've heard they were talking about it being virtual, so I don't even know if it's happening, but. Have you heard something?
No, I have not.
It's been September. I just think we could take out the Hilton Head, South Carolina meeting off of it, and we're not saying the border is going to the Hilton Head in South Carolina in September.
Absolutely.
Well, and I guess that we could leave it on there, and probably a lot of this will depend on other districts too. If nobody goes, there is not going to be one, and there may be something else that they provide, or maybe they do some type of a rotation with all the clients, or some type of personalized development or something. It would be more up to them as to how they provide that. But
Well, and I know Linda is in a hot spot down there, and she's not planning on going anywhere. She doesn't need to. They've had a lot of family members be affected by COVID, including her grandchildren, and so she is not planning on leaving her home at all. So that's all I have for the calendar right now. Anyone?
So for the calendar, I'm not online. I feel I'm frustrated over here. That's why I'm on the calendar. Jeez. So for the June 13th, so did we decide on what we're doing on the 12th, or?
The 12th, we're doing team building, so just the Board of Education.
Okay.
In the evening.
But the 13th is still before then?
Yes.
And what time on the 12th? We didn't decide to?
We just said evening, so it's usually after 5, like 6, 7, 8, or 5, 6, 7.
yeah.
Yeah.
6 to 8, probably 2 hours or 5 to 8 or
Yeah.
something. It has been typical in the past.
I'm glad you said that because I had that for the morning, so I was like, oh, I was gonna be the only one here. Well, let me change that now.
It's happened more than once that he's been the only one to show up at something. Gotta get that calendar together for me.
I like to be early.
He's called me real early and said, "Are we supposed to be there right now?" And I'm like, "Why are you waking me up?"
This one, September.
Alright.
Yes, those are messages South Carolina this time. So that was.
I'm waiting for Regina.
Yeah, she's having trouble pulling it up. so
No,
she's
no, you're
pulling it
fine,
up.
I didn't want anyone to think we weren't just
Okay,
hanging out.
so are we taking wisdom sharing off, or we're just gonna kind of hold off for a second?
I would be in favor of taking off the Hilton Head, South Carolina piece.
Just the travel part.
Yeah. So we at least know it's there, it could be virtually in some other form, but we have no intentions of traveling to South Carolina.
Okay.
I have no desire for the district to pay for me to fly to South Carolina in September. Which is kind of a bummer, because I really have never been to South Carolina, and I'm kind of
Yeah, that's home for me, so I'm like,
Let's go for it.
Alright. Anything else, any other changes? Everyone good? Alright. Legislative update, 9.2.
I think Shelley already gave.
Yeah, we're just waiting to hear what comes out of the School Finance Act and anything else they come up with, so.
Okay. How long before we get those dollars that they are promising they're going?
Maybe 23 million we did.
Oh.
It literally was something, Monday night, when it was at 9:30 at night, I got wind. When I started calling Wendy at 7:45 the next morning, and she was already in her 6 meeting, and she sent me a text saying, "What's this cash in the bank coming?" So this was something literally, as we did teachers, that really happened that quickly. Of course, we got notification that we would receive it electronically on Friday, last Friday.
That's a lot of work for you guys to decide how that needs to be spent. That's a lot of money to spend in a short time.
But we will handle that.
It'll happen.
Good, alright. We're on 10. We are on time and everything. So, we're gonna be convening to executive session for personnel discussion. An attendee after, in attendance will be myself, Ms. English, Ms. Q, Mr. Stewart, Mr. Williams, Dr. Berghansel, Mr. Rogerson, and Dr. Claudio, and I would ask for a motion.
I move that the Board of Education convene to executive session to discuss personnel matters as authorized in Colorado Revised Statute pursuant to CRS 246402 4F.
Alright, moved by Mr. Stewart, seconded by Mrs. English. We will be heading into executive session at 7:43 p.m. We will come back out when we're done and we'll adjourn after that. So. Are we recording? Okay. We're reconvening regular board session, combined session at 8:32 out of executive session. All board members are still present, superintendent. And we are on to 10.2.
And Norma needs to know that the executive session was for
40 minutes, Ms. Norma.
I have your recorder right here. I hope I didn't delete stuff when I pressed the buttons.
We need to, 10.2, we need to recommend a motion from someone.
I move to accept the recommended decision of Human Resources with respect to the non-renewal of licensed personnel as well as the contract not renewed for administrators as presented.
Second.
Was moved by Mr. Williams, seconded by Mrs. Pugh. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Do we need a single vote on that? We good. Okay.
No, roll call vote.
I just wanted to make sure.
You could say passes unanimously, and that would reflect that vote.
So passes unanimously. It's a 5-0 vote. And we're gonna move forward on that to 11, adjournment, early. I need a motion to adjourn though.
A motion to adjourn.
Second.
Moved by Ms. English, seconded by Mr. Siebert. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Good night.